Have you ever really stopped to think about the insane logistics operation that's happening inside your body right this very second? I mean, it is a delivery service that literally never, ever takes a break, working 24 hours a day just to keep you going. So let's dive into this amazing system. So here's the big question our body has to answer. You've got trillions of cells, right? And every single one of them is screaming for a constant supply of fuel, oxygen, nutrients, you name it. How in the world does the body manage a delivery of that scale without ever missing a single beat?
Well, the answer, as you can see right here, is this one incredible engine, the heart. It's the pump at the absolute center of everything. And get this, it pumps something like 2,000 gallons of blood every single day. So today we're going to follow the exact path that blood takes on its non-stop journey through this powerhouse. Okay, so to really get the heart, the first thing you have to know is that it's not just one pump. You've got to think of it as two separate pumps working side by side in perfect harmony. You've got a right side and a left side, and each one has a totally different job to do.
And this breaks it down perfectly. The right side of the heart, it's dealing with all the used up oxygen-poor blood. Its job is to send that blood over to the lungs for a refill. Meanwhile, the left side takes that fresh, oxygen-rich blood and gives it the massive push it needs to get to the rest of the body. Two pumps, two very different missions. So let's start our little tour on the right side. This is where blood comes back after it's made its rounds through the body. You know, it's tired, it's low on oxygen, and it's basically ready for a recharge. The main entry points back into the heart are these two massive veins called the vena cava. You've got the superior vena cava, which brings blood from your head and your arms, and the inferior vena cava, which brings it up from the lower part of your body. Think of them like two huge highways merging back at headquarters.
And that headquarters, the very first stop, is this chamber right here, the right atrium. It basically acts as a receiving dock, just collecting all that deoxygenated blood as it finishes its long trip.
Now, for this whole thing to work, the blood has to flow in one direction only, and that's where the valves come in. They're like these crucial one-way doors. This first one, the tricuspid valve, makes sure blood can pass down into the next room, but there's no way it's flowing backward.
So once that right atrium fills up, it gives a squeeze. That tricuspid valve swings open, and whoosh, the blood flows down into the right ventricle. This is the chamber that's going to do the first big push.
And this is where it gets kind of cool and a little weird. The right ventricle pumps the blood out, but not to the body. It pumps it into what's called the pulmonary artery. And this is a classic biology trivia question, right? We all learn that arteries carry oxygen-rich blood, but the pulmonary artery is the big exception. Its one and only job is to carry that oxygen-poor blood to its next stop. And that next stop is, of course, the lungs. This is the pit stop. This is where the blood gets to drop off all its waste cargo, the carbon dioxide, and pick up a fresh supply of that absolutely vital resource, oxygen.
And it's just a ridiculously efficient process. Down in the tiniest little blood vessels in the lungs, the blood just lets go of the carbon dioxide it's been carrying around, and at the exact same time, it grabs onto fresh oxygen from the air you literally just breathed in. It's a complete top-up. Okay, so now our blood is fully loaded with fresh oxygen. It's energized, it's ready to go, so it's time to head back to the heart for the second half of the journey. But this time, it's going to the powerful left side.
And hey, just like we had that exception with the artery, we've got one here with the pulmonary veins. We usually think of veins as carrying oxygen-poor blood, right? Well, not these guys. They're carrying that vibrant, oxygen-rich blood from the lungs straight back to the heart's left side.
So that fresh blood pools in the left atrium, which is another receiving chamber. And when that's full, another one-way door. This one's called the bicuspid or mitral valve. It swings open, and the blood flows into the final and most important chamber.
And that brings us to the undisputed heavyweight champion of the heart, the left ventricle. Just look at the muscular wall in this thing. It is way thicker than the other chambers, and for a very good reason. Its job is to give the blood one massive squeeze, a push that is strong enough to send it to every single cell in your body, from your brain all the way down to your toes.
This is it, the grand finale, the final push. This is the moment that all that freshly oxygenated blood gets sent out on its critical mission to fuel the entire body.
With an incredibly powerful contraction, the left ventricle blasts the blood through one last valve, the aortic valve, and into the aorta. The aorta is the superhighway of your entire circulatory system. It's the main trunk line that every other artery in your body branches off from.
And you can see here how it all works as one big network.
The aorta branches out into smaller and smaller arteries, which lead to these teeny tiny capillaries, and that's where the oxygen delivery actually happens. Then, the now deoxygenated blood gets collected into veins which flow back to the vena cava, and the whole amazing cycle just starts all over again. It's a perfect closed loop.
So, we've traced the entire path, right? All the plumbing. But how does all this mechanical action connect to something we can all actually hear and feel? The beat of our heart.
That familiar lub-dub sound, it's not actually the sound of the heart muscle squeezing. Nope, it's the sound of those 4 one-way doors, the valves, snapping shut. The lub is the sound of the first 2 valves closing between the atria and ventricles, and the dub is the sound of the other 2 valves closing as blood leaves the heart. It's literally the sound of perfect timing.
So, let's just do a super quick recap of the whole circuit. Ready? Used up, blue blood comes from the body into the right side of the heart, which pumps it to the lungs. The lungs fill it with oxygen, then that fresh, red blood goes to the left side of the heart, which pumps it back out to the body. It is just an elegant and non-stop loop that keeps every part of you alive.
Seriously, go ahead and do it right now. Find your pulse on your wrist or on your neck. That little beat that you feel, that is the pressure wave from your left ventricle, launching blood into your arteries. That is the actual rhythm of this incredible journey we just mapped out, and it is happening inside you right now.
So we've mapped out the entire journey of the blood. We know the route. But that just leaves us with an even bigger mystery, doesn't it? We know the plumbing, but what provides the spark? What's the electrical system that tells this amazing muscle to keep beating every second of every day for your entire life?